Take a look at this UK Newsday review. It highlights the massive, culturally dominant true crime podcast, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Host Pip Fitz-Amobi built a huge following by solving a closed case her local police force had failed to figure out. But now, a new problem has surfaced right in her own town. A young man Pip knows personally, 24-year-old Jamie Reynolds, has suddenly gone missing. Despite the urgency, the official police response is entirely passive. They classify Jamie as a low-risk misper, their shorthand for a missing person they aren't worried about. The authorities assume Jamie is simply absent, that he went to stay with a friend and will show up wondering what the fuss is about. Because of this label, the police are bound by a rigid timeline. They won't allocate resources or start a serious active search until Jamie has been missing for a full 72 hours. Pip knows the grim reality of that clock. The first 72 hours are the most crucial window in a disappearance. Once that time passes, the police are often no longer organizing a rescue mission. They are waiting to start a body recovery operation. Looking at this audio workspace, we can see exactly how Pip responds. Since the authorities won't look for Jamie, she weaponizes her platform. She launches Season 2 of her podcast in real time, specifically to crowdsource the search. By treating her listeners as a decentralized investigative force, Pip activates her audience, creating an immediate search party that fills the gap where institutional authorities refuse to act. Pip's investigation starts with the basics. She distributes localized missing posters around town and broadcasts audio updates to her listeners, asking anyone with information to come forward. It works. As this email shows, her first major breakthrough comes from a local bookshop worker named Harry Scythe. He writes to confirm that he and his friends are 98% sure they saw Jamie walking through town the night he disappeared. But crowdsourced data is messy. When Pip speaks to the 4 witnesses, their memories conflict. 2 of them distinctly remember Jamie wearing a shirt. The other 2 are absolutely certain he was wearing a dark hoodie. To make sense of this, Pip looks at the context. Jamie owns a dark, zip-up hoodie. If he was wearing it completely unzipped, anyone looking closely from the front would see his shirt. Anyone seeing him from the side or back would notice the dark hoodie. Both accounts are accurate, they just come from different angles. Having established Jamie's physical movements, Pip shifts to digital forensics. She gains access to Jamie's computer and parses through his recent internet browser history to see where his mind was before he vanished. She spots a glaring anomaly in the search logs. In the days leading up to his disappearance, Jamie was repeatedly visiting an Instagram profile belonging to a woman named Layla Mead. Pip's method shows that crowdsourcing brings in physical leads much faster than standard police canvassing. But to get the full story, an investigator has to actively combine the blurry reality of human memory with the cold, rigid exactness of a digital footprint. This map shows the physical layout of Little Kilton, the town where the digital trail is starting to get hot. As Pip conducts in-person interviews, she uses a secondary tactic. She keeps her phone on the table, recording every conversation. This allows her to replay the audio later, listening closely for any stumbles or shifts in a suspect's story. She uses this exact technique to catch a suspect in a lie. The person claims they were visiting someone named Hilary F. Weissman. Pip simply searches the name online and finds an obituary proving that Hilary died in 2006. Her on-the-ground search eventually leads her to an abandoned farmhouse. Inside, she finds a bloody knife and a stained jumper, items that suggest Jamie's disappearance might involve something much darker than a simple runaway. At this moment, Pip shows complete restraint. Even though she wants answers, she refuses to touch the weapon. She calls the police immediately. If she handles that knife, she breaks the chain of custody, the record that proves exactly who touched the weapon and when. Without that clean record, the evidence becomes useless in court, as a defense lawyer could argue that Pip herself tampered with or planted the weapon. This illustrates a hard boundary for true crime podcasters. They can bypass the slow machinery of the police during the search, but if they want a suspect to actually face a judge, they must flawlessly hand physical evidence back over to the institutions they worked around. With the evidence secured, Pip returns to her digital trail and uncovers the truth about the mysterious Instagram profile. Layla Mead is not a real person. She is a manufactured avatar designed entirely to manipulate Jamie. Whoever created Layla was hunting for someone called Child Brunswick. In the 1990s, a serial killer used his 10-year-old son to help lure victims. Because he was a minor, that son was given a legally protected secret identity, Child Brunswick. And through a long game of telephone starting in a prison cell, a rumor landed on an internet forum claiming Child Brunswick was secretly living in Little Kilton. The creator of the fake Layla profile used these localized internet rumors to filter the entire town down to 2 viable suspects who fit the right age, a man named Luke Eaton and the local journalist, Stanley Forbes. Because the mastermind didn't know which man was the killer's son, they used the Layla profile to manipulate Jamie. They sent Jamie to the abandoned farmhouse to physically confront both men to see who would react. This brings the investigation to a chilling conclusion. Stanley Forbes, the local journalist who explicitly helped Pip print her missing posters, is actually Child Brunswick. Stanley intercepted Jamie at the farmhouse that night. He took extreme measures to ensure his hidden past remained protected from the town. By connecting the digital breadcrumbs and local rumors, an agile podcaster solved a case that the authorities literally refused to acknowledge, finding the truth hidden beneath the town's surface.